Hey everyone, Max Keller here, author of Home to Home, the Step-by-Step Senior Housing Guide. And you might have seen some of my other videos or saw me in Northeast Tarrant County working with some senior families. And I want to break down in detail, should you sell your house with a real estate agent? And you know, there's three main types of ways to sell your house. We put that in another video, but it's basically sell your house with a real estate agent, fix it up and sell it with a real estate agent, or sell to an investor. And there's pros and cons to all of them. We're gonna go a little bit deeper into the pros and cons of selling with a real estate agent. And so we're just gonna break this down straight out of my workbook that I created for families to get education and really empower you to make the best decision. But you know, what we have behind us here is a really nice fixed up house. And you know, it looks good, but I will say this, you know, whatever strategy you use, there are drawbacks. And if you make the wrong choice with an agent, the biggest mistakes, and I'll go into some of them, is picking the wrong real estate agent. And I've got some questions in here that I'm gonna give you at the end that you should definitely consider asking any real estate agent. Because if you get the wrong one, it can turn into a nightmare. It's not just as simple as, oh, just put the house on the market. It doesn't matter who we pick. That is not what I've seen. You know, I've bought and sold hundreds of houses here, and I've been doing this 5 years full time in Northeast Tarrant County. And I've seen some agents that are awesome, that will knock your socks off, and then some of them that just absolutely destroy the deal. And what that means for you is lost time, a lot of extra stress if you get it wrong, and lost money. And when I say lost money, I'm talking about tens of thousands of dollars by picking the wrong person. The market isn't perfectly efficient. It's not gonna sort everything out. There's so many facets, and somebody who's truly skilled and knows what they're doing is worth so much money. But how are you even gonna know that's important? Well, from this video. And then how are you gonna find them? I'm gonna give you the questions that you should ask any real estate agent, okay? So first, let's start with the benefits. So usually somebody who's gonna move into this house, for example, is gonna pay the most, a homeowner that's moving in directly, okay? So an ideal person to sell with an agent is somebody who wants a traditional sale. You know, they've got time to invest in the closing process. All houses have a closing process. So if somebody tells you, you know, normally there's things in life that are too bad to possibly be true and too good to be true. And if you hear either one of those, just stick to your instincts. You know, lots of different types of professionals are focused on sales, and that's good. That's good for you, especially if the interests align. But sometimes, you know, you run into a salesperson that's just trying to tell you what you want to hear, and it ends up hurting you, and it ends up messing you up. And you know, the fact of the matter is that real estate agents are straight commission. The good news for that is that they have to work to get paid. But you know, there's not a lot of incentive to do things like wait or put you in touch with somebody else who maybe is a better fit, because there's just too much of an internal bias. Does that make sense? That's why we created these books and education, just to be some reference document for you to sort through and make your own decision. Okay. Also, homes that are traditionally that have been fully or partially updated do well. I'm not saying that you can't sell a house with an agent that isn't updated, but it may take a lot longer, and every neighborhood is different. Some of them have more of a tolerance than others, and it can make the closing process more complicated if somebody's getting traditional financing for a house that needs a lot of repairs, okay? Because the lender may not approve it, right? Or the appraisal, that's another issue. So drawbacks, this method usually takes longer than an investor purchase. And there are some challenges, including getting the house ready to sell. You know, that takes work. Showing the home to buyers, especially right now with, you know, the virus going on. You know, it used to be really cool to have 30 people walk through a house that's fully fixed up on a Friday. Now people don't want to do that as much, especially if they're living there. It's a lot of germs. And they're trying to do, you know, they're trying to make it safe, but that's just the facts. You know what I mean? When's the last time you had 30 people walk through your house in the last year? It hasn't happened as much, right? Also, you're still living in it, so it's a little bit inconvenient because you have to like leave and go somewhere else. And you always kind of have to have it ready to go. Making repairs and upgrades, sometimes it happens beforehand, but sometimes what happens is the real estate agent will tell you, oh, don't worry about it. You don't have to do anything to it. We're just going to list it. And then, but what you find out is that based on what your home condition is, the buyers in your area, they're not going to go with that. And so they're asking you to make some repairs. And there's also some, you know, stuff that comes up in the inspection report that nobody knows about that has to get fixed. Some of it can be cheap, but some of it can be super expensive. When you go with an investor, you don't have to worry about that because they're buying it as is. Closings may not always happen on time or get canceled. And passing the home inspection after the house is under contract, that's a big deal. Okay, does that make sense? Cool. So we've gotten some good foundation. I'm going to break down some questions right now that you want to do, kind of two sets. One of them is like homework before, while like you're looking for a real estate agent and you're getting ready for this process. And then the other ones are questions that you can ask your real estate agent. It's going to really put the odds in your favor. So before you call anybody, do an honest inspection of your home. Okay. If you can't because you're biased and you live there, I totally understand that. Have a friend come over and be like, okay, is my home really updated to like current standards? Like whatever, year this is, right? Like, is this really what everybody's doing this year who's getting their houses remodeled? Yes or no? Does your home need any repairs? If so, write them out. In my workbook, we broke that down, and you just list them and just kind of start thinking about it, because people are going to want to people might not want all of the updates, but they're going to want stuff repaired if it's actually broken. So you might as well just get it fixed now. When do you need to sell your home by? That's really important. And I'm kind of encouraging you to get these questions answered before you reach out to a real estate agent. Okay, if you need somebody, you can reach out to us and we'll connect you to someone if you'd like. But when you need to sell by is really, really important. How long will you need to move out of your home and take care of your possessions? And if your home sells faster than your new home is ready, who would you stay with? And, is it like, just temporary? Sometimes you can do a lease back agreement, but those are the main questions that you should, get answered before you call someone. Okay. Now here's the fun part. When you finally reach out and find a real estate agent, here's some questions that if you ask them, they're going to be like, where'd you get those questions? And you can use my name, okay? I'm advocating for everybody in Northeast Tarrant County to get exactly what it is that they're looking for. I love working with seniors. I work with a lot of the adult children, and, I'm a real estate agent, and I tell everybody, ask me these questions, like they're for everybody. It doesn't matter. These are probably going to last forever. So if this video is still up, like long after I'm gone, you can still use these, okay? How long have you been in business? Okay, that's an important question. I'm not saying that people who are new don't know what they're doing, but it just kind of gives you a framework for what's going on. Are you full-time or part-time? Because there's some people who've been in the business a long time, but they haven't done very many deals. In my opinion, what counts the most is deals. It's how many deals has somebody done total? Because every deal you learn something, and then, how many deals that they've done total? And then like, if they're the kind of person that just like keeps getting better. Some folks, like, they can do something 1,000 times. It doesn't matter. Like, they're not going to get any better at it. You'll kind of be able to tell from the conversation. Is the real estate agent that you're considering related to you? If yes, would a negative real estate transaction impact your family relationship? So if it would, and that's the case, then maybe you don't want somebody that's your family member. It's totally up to you. Some people pick family members and they're really not very good real estate agents. But I mean, not really good. Here's the 3 most important things for a real estate agent beyond just like market knowledge and experience. Do they answer the phone? Do they call people back? And do they do what they say they're going to do? And that's actually probably for any professional that you hire. Okay. What neighborhood do you specialize in? So all neighborhoods are a little bit different. So it's really, really important to make sure that you have somebody who's dialed in, because real estate is very, very localized. And if somebody doesn't really understand your neighborhood, will that affect their ability to market it and give you advice? Okay. Ask them, have you helped buy or sell a house in this neighborhood in the past 12 months? Now, that's not necessarily a deal killer. What I kind of look for more is like, do they specialize in a certain type of house? Because selling a luxury home is different than selling, just kind of like a medium price home versus, just leasing townhouses. So it's okay to specialize. Find somebody with your specialty. How much is my house worth in its current condition? How did you come up with that number? Based on the market in this neighborhood, how long will it take to sell my home? When we get an offer, what type of repairs, closing costs, contributions, or price reductions are possible? And then can I contact your references, right? Because usually, how people have done in the past is an indicator of what they're going to do in the future. So that's it. That's really all I got. I hope that this was valuable for you. Picking a real estate agent is really, really important. So if you like this video, check out some of our other videos. Have a great day. Be well and be blessed. Bye.